call. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's morning call. Hope everyone's feeling well. Here we are, a new week. It's a shortened week, Tuesday through Friday. I think today is the last day of May. I'm not exactly sure. Is this the last day of the month? Yeah. So sometimes the last day of the month is a little tricky, and then the first day also. But either which way, we did try and position for a rally last week, and it was pretty powerful, and actually even more powerful than some of us thought on Friday. Is I got caught a little extra hedged, which I do apologize for. So I was a little stressed this weekend, but this soft opening based on the high inflation readings in Europe is helping. Sometimes you get an overlay hedge that you need a little pullback, and with the oscillator plus 80, we were in a tricky spot. So anyway, last week, if you remember, we were trying to position long. Right here, that was when Snap came out with their their lowered guidance and everything, and we held in there, didn't fall apart. That was one little signal that we could rally. And then right here, we kind of took out the prior high and held the prior low. It was another signal, and then boom. Okay, I think this was the day that NVIDIA was down like 10, and we did buy NVIDIA and bought AMC and bought some Qs and had a really nice trade. And then this is where we closed on Friday, 415.38. At this point right now, the SPYs are at 412.90. I did sell calls. Sometimes instead of hedging, I sell calls higher, so this way I have room to wherever that strike is, and I get paid the premium. So not only do you don't start losing until you get to the strike, then you get to also have the room to whatever premium you collected. Some guys were just asking me how I do that. But I did that and went a lot further than I thought. But if I was short the SPYs and the Qs trying to hedge some of my 7 or 8, 9 longs, it would have been the same thing. So anyway, I've already covered about 75% of the SPYs that I had. Like here, you can see the alpha team that I have the SPYs and the Qs short. So by the way, this is the alpha team. About 200 people talking about everything they're doing this morning. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 longs coming in. So actually, this morning we're kind of double dipping a little bit. AMC's up a lot when we have options in stock. FXI is up a decent amount. We have options in stock. HUSA's up a decent amount. We have just stock, and then you have the SPYs and the Qs coming in a little bit. So it's nice when something like that happens. It doesn't always happen anyway. As you can see into that ramp, I also, just so you know, I sold some calls higher just for tomorrow, not for the Jobs Friday. Those were the 420s and the 417s, and I sold some puts just in case we were going to continue to run. Then they'd suck the premium out. So that was the way I was hedging all of this stuff. With AMC, AMD, CVX. CVX was a great swing trade also, and we still have options there. So anyway, let's move on. Question is, again, what type of digestion do we have, and can we continue up to the 50-day or maybe even more? Last time we went, we really went higher than anyone would have thought before heading back down to lows. Some people are like, are the lows in? Is this the low of 2022? If you trade actively, you don't have to think that far ahead. Now we'll just see what type of digestion we have, and can we continue higher, and what sectors lead what. So, the IWM did participate, but it's coming right into the 50-day. So now we'll see, does it hold 183? If it hold 183, maybe the 8 and 20 when they move, catch up, and you could buy it here for more upside. XBI lagged, so it'd be nice to see if XBI that's in this pocket pivot, could play some catch up. I'm long some XBI. So like here's the language. XBI lagged last week. I'm long here. If it can get and stay above 71.11, perhaps it opens the door for catch up. Okay, and there's room to here. So we'll see if a sector wants to play catch up. That's a lagging sector. ARC always has to be the one that screw with everybody a little bit, and it broke below the pocket pivot and then came right back up fast. So now what? We'll see how it hangs in here. I guess you could put this here now. What's this low? This low is 43.16. I'd say as long as it holds 43.16, it's in the game for higher prices. We'll see if it wants to play some catch up. It's been the most bean down sector out there, one of them, and there's room to the 50-day. So the question is, will a lot of things get to their 50-day? But some things are already there, like XLE, different story, leadership role. XLE, higher highs, close at highs of the year. Some guys were buying it when it reclaimed the 821 day, then took out 84, and now it's above this. I would trim some. I'm in CVX, so I'm happy that at least I was able to play one of the leaders of a leading sector, and we held it all week. I was in CVX all week last week with you guys. I think I even had 2 trades where I bought it and I added to it, and I'm still in it, and I still have 180 calls. I'm probably going to sell the stock today and keep some options, and I might even turn the 180 calls that I have into a call spread by selling the 185 just because of the size of the move. That'll help keep me in it, and if it doesn't go further than 180, at least I get to keep that premium above. So we'll see. There were lots of ways to do it. I was only in one. Oxy, some guys went with Oxy just to show you the pattern. That was a good spot right there if you were looking to play Oxy, and you did. Some guys went with XOM. That actually was the real leader. That made new highs first to prove that things can make new highs. For me, I just went with CVX, which worked well. You don't have to be in everything to make decent money. I also went with Schlumberger, but I got rid of it already last week. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Today's, in my opinion, a much better sell than a buy, but you'd be my guest. Oil's at highs, USO. I'm sure the headlines out there, 120 oil is not good for the economy. So we'll see. That's why also I think we're a little bit lower because you have oil on the move, and then you have the inflation reading in Europe was really high. But Europe's not falling apart. The DAX is only down like 0.8, and but again, it had a big move. So we'll see how that goes. So at this point, I could see if we want to rally the markets, all of a sudden in 2 days from now, they could be like, oh, that was peak inflation in Europe. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Here's the SPYs. SPYs are still around 412.66, and then you have the SPYs. Really, if SPYs just want to give back Friday's candle and look at the 1, 2, 3, 4 big days, the low here is 407-ish. This high here is 407-ish. This low here is 407.70-ish. So really, this is, to be more precise, this would be like 407.70, which I'd be pretty surprised if we get there today. I would think maybe 410-ish would be a spot, but again, we'll see how it goes. Most of that move into the last hour of Friday was just mispositioning and option expiration, etc., etc. Let's go with stocks. Tesla. I'm not in Tesla. I do not think it's going to be like the Tesla from March, where it had a rip-roaring rally almost to the highs of the year, but it did participate. If it had, if we do hang around and the market wants to stay strong, maybe 845 could happen over time. But again, we just had 3 days. The reason why I think it's up, obviously, is because, again, it's an electric vehicle and energy's higher. Also, there was some news that their Shanghai Gigafactory is back online, so the lecture. But up 10 at 770 after a move from 620, probably not the smartest initial buy. So it's up to you. I might look at it and I might fade it to go from green to red, but I'll do it a little carefully. We'll see. Or I might just avoid it and wait for a better setup. Apple also. Apple's only down 77 cents. Big 2-day move. Okay, held 137, took out 141.78. Nice gap here. It fueled the gains on what's it called, on Thursday, Friday when the video reversed. I would think at some point Apple, I guess, is viable. The news out of Foxconn is that they're upping their shipment, something or other, upping their shipments because the Shanghai factory is back online. They don't talk about this 5 or 6 weeks that they probably missed, but for that, so the narrative might, I always like to be long Apple anyway versus shorted, even though we did pretty well shorted. But now, the low here is 145, so you have a bunch of room here. So you don't want to start too fast. You want to go to the intraday. I would say 148 is some support. So if just say Apple holds 148-ish, that's going to probably mute the pullback today. If it breaks 148-ish, this is not too far away. And yes, I did place some puts when I thought that perhaps Apple could lead us lower. That was from a week or so ago. So I'll lose money on the puts, but risk is premium paid. So I would say the pullback in the market could be very, very shallow if, just say, Apple holds this 147 to 148 area. If Apple doesn't hold 147 to 148 and heads back to 145, then the SPYs, might see below 410. So you want to be careful trying to buy too fast after the size of the move. I'm actually trying to stay with some of the, the SPYs and Qs I have short that got stuck short, but we'll see. Um, Microsoft, same camp as Apple. Actually, was a little stronger than Apple. See if it could hold this 267-ish, and then if it does, maybe that's something to look at. Facebook filled the gap post. Remember this little gap here post Snap. Snap came out. It was pretty poor. They probably they probably shouldn't have done much. They probably shouldn't have done that. They kind of tried to be, I guess, transparent, but they screwed themselves because their news brought everyone down in the sectors, and then everyone else was priced in because of them, but they got hit the hardest. But anyway, so 195.33 is a spot. There's room up to the 50-day. I don't know if it'll get to the 50-day, but we'll see. Facebook's down 87 cents at 194. It's had a big 1, 2, 3, 4-day move, so I guess you could like kind of move this lower a little bit, and the low here is 189.80. So I guess the moral of the story as I go through this stuff is, are we going to test and hold Friday's lows, or are we going to hold a portion of Friday's gains to keep things, super in tight or intact, however you want to say it. So with that said, well, we shall see. There's 189. Okay. Amazon gave it a 3-day move. I have some options on for the split. Probably needs to rest here for a little bit. It hit 23.03. 4 up days. Haven't had that in Amazon in a while, but here it goes. It does have room up to here. If the market held in there and wanted to go again, then Amazon post split, there is another void here, but it doesn't have to. So now we'll see, does it hold 22.52 before the split? The split I think is June 3rd, right? Yeah, June 3rd. That's what I have the options on. I probably should have June 10th, but we'll see. Google saw the low post snap and then had a snap back, and now I guess see if this holds. I haven't really been trading Google. Netflix has been just kind of crawling higher. Not much of a pattern here, but there's room if it wants it. I do think the better trade was AMC last week. If you remember, right around Wednesday, I bought AMC and I bought options. I'm like, guys, I friggin' love Top Gun from when I was a kid. I'm sure there's a lot of people like me, so it probably has a great time in the movies. And then I looked at the chart of AMC. I was like, oh my goodness, look how tight this is. So we bought this somewhere around 11.88. I bought some options. I don't even remember where they were a double on Friday. Now AMC is up another 12%. I trimmed a little bit. I still have some. What options did we go with? We went with the $12 call, so those are going to be nice. So nice when a few things could match up. Yeah, if we were up here at 34 heading into the movie, we would have been like, hey, this is priced in. But down here, it was worth a shot to anticipate it. And I've played AMC a bunch of times in the last year or so, and I do it technically. I'm not a meme guy or this or that, but when technically it lines up and there's a catalyst, remember this $15 area? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying this was nice. There were a few other movies coming out too, and it was nice to be in the movies. I'll be honest with you, it was nice. I didn't have the popcorn though. It's summertime. One medium popcorn is like friggin' 100 grams of fat if you put all the butter that I usually do and the salt, and then all of a sudden the bloated face. I did sneak in a little wine though. So we'll see how it goes. There's room to 18 if it wants it. I would not just be looking to short AMC just because it's AMC. But I would, obviously you got to take some of the trades along the way. What else? So some of us took HUSA, which was a small little energy name because it spiked up. This HUSA, it's it's up 30%. It was just above 5. I trimmed a bunch of that. Some of the banks from last week were good. Sorry, the XLF. JP Morgan kind of led the way with the banks. I went with Citigroup. I'm still in small Citigroup. Remember the target? The target was 35.50. That's kind of where it went back to. Now it probably needs to just digest. We'll see how this digests also. Does it digest well or not? 35.06. Here's where the moving averages are, so you don't want to be too fast. Citigroup for me, where's my stop? Someone asked me. Where's Citigroup right now? It's now 47 cents at 53.15. I don't think I'm going to use 53. I would say you really have to maybe this low here. Hold on. Still Citigroup. This low here is 52.02. So I'll give it to 52. Give it some room because I've already taken most off, so I have the luxury of giving it some room here to the moving averages. Some of you that went with JP Morgan was a really nice move. It needs a little bit of a rest, I would think, too. 123-ish is right there. That's a long way down. Here's where the moving averages are. It's actually above the 50-day, which is good to see, something being above the 50-day. What's this? 126-ish. SPYs are making new lows right now as we speak. 126-ish. And then what's the low here? 129-ish. So in order to get to 126-ish, it's got to break below 129-ish first, and it was up 6-7 days. Okay, stay tuned. Right now the SPYs are making a lower low here. I'm not sure where I have my bids in, but I think one. I probably just covered some at 833. So you can see here, like, so here's a VTF. So I'm short some, covered some at 833, which was at the new low there. So I'm short less. That's what, just said people. Some people are like, does the alpha team get to see everything that I'm doing? They do, but Redler All Access gets to get the plan and everything else. If you do trade for a living actively, you should probably have both the connected dots. But I'm not promoting that now. I'm just trying to talk out loud. Anyway, so we'll see. SPYs, go back to the SPYs. It is 834. 407 is Friday's low. Do we see that? Who knows? Maybe. But I would think that the moving average is coming in. This high here is 404. I would think that if we're gonna keep this oversold bounce or bear market rally, whatever you want to call it, intact, we should not really get below this. I'll make it bigger so it's important. And if they want to keep it fast and furious, we probably don't get below 407.70 or somewhere in that area, but we'll see. So at this point, if you have some longs, some of them were up. Hopefully you trim some. If you got stuck in an extra hedge like me in the SPYs and the Qs, I would use this to cover some and maybe stick with some. If you shorted premium and did stuff that way, then you know what you're doing. If you're looking to buy a dip, just know we just had a big move. Big move over the course of the last week. So if you buy a dip too fast and too big, and it goes lower than you thought, you'll probably get stopped out, and then a day or so later might be the true spot. So don't be in a rush. If you had a great week and you come in flattish, then hey, keep putting it together and netting money and figure it out. There's been lots of two-way type of trades. Remember NVIDIA? NVIDIA was probably my best trade last week. Why? Because it was down $10. It felt like it was priced in, and they reversed it. It had red to green through 171. I had 188. I did not take NVIDIA long just because I just didn't want the beta. I am in AMD. I think AMD is going to be interesting to watch. If AMD could go sideways, it's above all the moving averages and hold above 100-ish, maybe then it puts a bull flag in, and then if it were to take this out in the sessions ahead, that would perhaps prove that some of these things can continue. If all of a sudden it breaks below 100 and gets back into this range, then we know that, hey, home on the range, and just know the spots in the range and look for clues on how to navigate the range. So we'll see. We've been here before. We'll be here again, and the only way to deal with it is if you're prepared enough. We did catch a nice trade. Hopefully, those of you that trade crypto, I did tweet this out on Saturday, I think, right? Saturday. What time did I? I'm not sure. Whatever time it was, I tweeted it out. I think Saturday morning, I bought Bitcoin around 29.2 with a stop at 28.5, and it was a nice move. So that was good. I haven't really did a crypto trade in a while. Covered most of my risk when we broke 37 here, besides some of the altcoins that I kind of sat in. So we'll see. We'll see now does crypto digest a little bit higher, and maybe you could see a move in Bitcoin back towards, the 50-day, which is closer to 33.7. I did take off on Coinbase Pro. There's a 25% button, so I did trim 25% of what I bought just to book some, and now I'm going to try and stick with some and see if we can get to that spot. Ethereum was a bit more tricky. It had a break below 19 and hold 17 again before coming back up. Now I guess see does it digest here to maybe act better. I didn't go with Ethereum this time. I did go with Ethereum into the hole here and traded it, not Bitcoin. And now I switched over to Bitcoin, so I guess it all depends. And as far as the altcoins, you really got to know what you own. There's still a lot of footsteps of the Luna situation, which became a zero. So people are kind of thinking, hey, if Luna could become a zero, who knows what these altcoins could do? Now they're referring to them shitcoins. But so I would just be very careful there and know which own and why. I still have a few of the ones from a year ago that I just traded really well around. They're up 6-7 times, but then didn't realize that they could pull 50% off the highs and go 90% off the highs. So it kind of hurt a little bit, like a crypto.com or a Gal or a WaxP, et cetera, or Metaverse Dog. But listen, time and place for everything. Good luck today, guys, and I want to get this out timely so we could move on. I'll let you know what I'm doing, and there'll be some more charts coming. Good luck today, guys.